Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is accusing New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani of fomenting hate after the mayor's threat to arrest the prime minister. The mayor later walked that back, admitting he doesn't have the authority to carry out the arrest, but he continues to call Netanyahu a war criminal. CB Cotton has the latest from New York City. CB.
Hey, John. So Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu responded this morning to New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani. Mamdani has said while he can't, the feds can and should arrest the Israeli leader. Netanyahu suggested to our Maria Bartiromo that the mayor's rhetoric like this won't impact his travel plans to the UN General Assembly this fall. He also accused Mamdani of dividing New Yorkers.
He's fomenting hate. He's supposed to be the mayor of all New Yorkers, Jews, Christians, Muslims, everyone. But he's trying to turn one group against the other, and he's foisting hate and fear. I speak to Jewish Americans in New York, and they're afraid right now.
So Netanyahu's response comes just 2 days after a suspect was arraigned on hate crime charges in the stabbing of a Jewish man and an Asian man on New York City's Upper West Side. The crime happened the same week that Mamdani released a video calling Netanyahu a war criminal. Netanyahu also told Maria Bartiromo the timing is no coincidence.
I don't think it's accidental that after he made this hate speech against Israel and against me, the next day, a Jew is stabbed coming out of a synagogue. I think, and with a cry of Allah is Akbar, Allah Akbar.
The Jewish New Yorkers who gathered today feel the same, accusing the mayor of stoking anti-Semitism.
When hate is excused or normalized, everybody pays the price. Today, the Jewish community is facing an alarming rise in Jew hatred and violence. And this is the moment for our leaders to show up here.
So Mayor Mamdani, for his part, has repeatedly rejected allegations of anti-Semitism, saying his criticism is of the Israeli government and not the Jewish people or the Jewish faith. And this week, he made repeated statements vowing to protect every New Yorker, regardless of their background or politics. John.
CB Cotton. Thank you, CB. So Mayor Mamdani is still urging New Yorkers to protest the Israeli Prime Minister's visit to the city in September.
I think one of the bedrocks of our city is protest. It is something that has been a part of what makes our city so special, that New Yorkers can express themselves, whether they are in support or in opposition, no matter on whatever topic. We are talking about someone who has been charged with crimes against humanity, someone who has visited the city on many an occasion and who has been welcomed by previous mayors. And I want to make it very clear that that welcome ends with me.
Let's bring in Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis, Republican of New York, member of the House Ways and Means Committee. So the mayor is now saying, yeah, I really don't have the authority to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu, but New Yorkers really ought to go out and protest his visit to the UN. What do you think about that?
Whether it's his calls for the arrest of Netanyahu or urging New Yorkers to come out and protest Netanyahu, it's the same thing. It just shows how juvenile, immature, and really the lack of experience that this mayor has. I don't remember, and I've been a New Yorker my whole life, I've never recalled a mayor encouraging people to protest and have unrest. I mean, I believe that this will turn into unrest. I don't think this can be a peaceful display, unfortunately. And mayors, of course, have said peacefully protest, but that's when the people come out and protest already. It's not urging this type of activity. And I think it's just stoking the flames of anti-Semitism in our city. We saw what happened the other day when a Jewish man was stabbed. You see Jewish New Yorkers regularly saying that they are afraid to wear their yarmulke or display their Star of David out of fear of being attacked. And rightfully, they are saying this because we have seen a sharp increase in anti-Semitic crimes in the city since this mayor took office. In his first month alone, it was a 187% increase, and over 50%, 57% of the hate crimes in this city are targeting our Jewish friends and neighbors.
The former mayor, Eric Adams, whom Mamdani replaced, says it's a mistake to be sort of picking winners and losers among your ethnic groups in the city. Listen.
No group should have to live through this in their city. And there should be no room for hate, and that terminology should be coming from City Hall in a very clear message. You cannot vacillate and be unclear. The message must be clear. Jewish residents have a right to live in the city that they're very much a part of.
It's my understanding your mother was Cuban, your father Greek. You know a little bit about ethnic politics and how ethnic groups survive in New York City and thrive.
That's right. My district is very diverse. It's a microcosm of the city of New York. Is what really the diversity is what makes this city so great. And the mayor is not doing enough to bring people together or let the various ethnic groups and religious groups feel comfortable. You do not see him going to synagogues. You do not see him going to Jewish community centers. You do not see him hosting press conferences and doing events with Jewish New Yorkers. And that, I think, is it sends a terrible message to the city and to the country and to the world, quite frankly, because he has a major platform as the mayor of the largest city in the world, New York City. I mean, he needs to, I think, do more outreach and show that he is a mayor for all New Yorkers, because I can tell you, the Jewish New Yorkers don't feel that he is their mayor, and other ethnic groups feel that he is not standing up for them either.
Well, and, you know, he's got his own problems to solve in New York, so it makes you wonder, why is he going, international politics and trying to take on the Prime Minister of Israel?
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.